Alright, guys, my last tutorial, I talked about creating a console for a Windows program so that you could use like printf and cout and cin with the console um, to print out some debug information. One of the things I find useful when I'm doing debugging, especially with the console, is to kind of color code my print statements. This is because I mean, if we have uh, a huge engine and we got a bunch of prints going on in our console, it can get very convoluted and very hard to see where the hotspots are, where we're getting errors in a sea of green, in a sea of just gray. So I decided to do a quick tutorial on how to actually change the color of your console. And this can actually work on just regular console programming too. So if you this is universal for both Windows and console programming. Um, so in order to change the color of to change the color that your console you want to print your console with, you're gonna have to use this function, and it's called um, set console text attribute. Now it takes two parameters: a handle to the console and a word, essentially a bit field. Um, for those of you who aren't who are just starting out and just want to know about haven't gotten to the point where you've worked with a lot of binary or just understand like the bit field is just going to tell what color you want to change the text attribute to, or what you exactly want the text attribute to be. Um, so it wants a handle to our console, and in my last tutorial we created an actual handle to this console right here, this H console, and we allocated it and generated it. So that's the first attribute that we're gonna throw into here. Our second attribute is a little bit trickier to get a handle of because it's a D word. It's a word. It's actually just a couple of flags that you're gonna be set. You can see the uint. It's a word. Is just gonna be a 4 byte array. Um, so we can't just say red. I mean, the computer has no idea what I'm talking about when I say red. However, if I put 0, it's perfectly happy with that. And let's see if I put 0, what it does. Run it, and hey, nothing's printing. Um, why isn't anything printing? Well, 0 isn't actually a color, so let's put 1. See what 1 will do. Alright, 1 turned everything blue. A really dark blue. I'm not sure if this will even show on the YouTube video. So let's try 2. Okay, there we go. That's a little brighter. So 2 is green. Okay, so as you can see, as I'm changing these numbers, it's changing the color that's going to be outputted to the console. Now you may be asking yourself, how do I know what number I need to put there? And this was the issue I came up with because I had no idea how Windows, how C++ and how this set console text attribute actually works. So if I F1 it, let's go to see what it's actually doing. All right. Test attribute of the character written to the console screen buffer. Okay, makes sense. Um, so character attributes. This is the attribute that we're changing. Okay, so we get this table, character attribute table, and you have foreground blue, foreground green, foreground red. Okay, so let's go back to our program. Instead of using 2 and then 0 and stuff, let's say foreground red. Okay. Alright, that's easy enough. Okay, it's red. Um, however, like, let's say I want to do a yellow. Well, how do I get yellow? Well, you'd have to OR it with green. And green and red actually make yellow. Um, because um, it's a subtractive color that we're using. So if you take um, from the color wheel, if you take red and green away, if you take green away from red, you will be left with yellow. I'm not really. I mean, toward I'll when I start talking about more about colors in another tutorial, I'll explain how that works. But there's two different kinds of colors. It's additive and subtractive color, and just understand we're using subtractive color here. Um, well, for me, like I find this to be very um, annoying to do, just cause foreground red, foreground green. Okay. Um, what I like to do, what I did, or what I would rather do, and just to get some bit field manipulation and understanding some bit field stuff, I create an enum. So I come up here and I create an enum colors. Okay, and so let's go back to their website. Actually, let's not go to their website. Let's go here. And let's go to the definition of this. So you see here, these are hex values, and they're treated like a bits, right? You got 00011. So this is a 16-bit character. So you'll have 000000000, and then ones, and that's going to give you the color blue. Because you got R here, you got G here, and you got B here, and this is the alpha, and I'll go into deeper explanation of the alpha, but R, G, B. So you got that. Alright, green. That would be 000, 00000, 0000. 2 would be 0010. Yeah, I had this wrong. The blue is actually just 000000000000001. So this is green, and then this is red. Red would be 000000000000100. This is telling me that this bit right here is going to define my blue. This bit right here is going to define my green, and this is going to define my red. So you got R, G, and B being defined by the low end 3 bits of this number. The intensify. Let's look at the documentation, see what intensify does. It intensifies the color. Well, so that's just gonna make whatever color you use more intense. So that's that's that number. But here, right there, there's no color, so you're intensifying no color right now. So in order to intensify the color, we need to do something. We need to actually intensify a color. Okay. So how do we get this number? We want to intensify green. How will we get it? Well, in binary, I'm just gonna work with the lower 4 bits just to make it a little easier to see. So for intensify, we had 100. All right, and we want to get to 1010. And we know that green is 0010. So in order to turn this bit on from 1000, we need to OR it. You know, binary OR. So 100 ORed with 0010. 1 ORed with 0. If we start from the left, 1 ORed with 0 will give me 1. 0 ORed with 0 will give me 0. 0 ORed with 1 will give me 1. And 0 ORed with 0 will give me 0. and that will give me the intensify green. Let's say we wanted red. So we got 100, and we OR it with 001. That would give us 1 ORed with 001, 0 ORed with 00, 0 ORed with 00, and 0 ORed with 1 is 1. And so if we wanted an intensified red color, we would add a 1 there. And there you go. That's how these colors work. So with that understanding, I like to let's close out of this. No, we don't want to save it. Leave it to what it was before. We can create this enum, and we can set our blue equals 0x0001, but essentially in decimal that's just 1. I mean, this is not very intuitive to someone reading our code, so we're just gonna use actual numbers. Green was 0x010, and that's the number 2. Red was 00100, so that would be 3. And then we have intensify was 8, was 1000, which is 8. Okay, so let's say we want it yellow. Let me go back to that that file. Let's go back here, go to definition. Let's say we want a yellow, and like I said earlier, yellow is when you take red and green OR together. So we have 004, so that's 0100 ORed with, well, where's my pipe? ORed with green, which is 2, which is 0010. So that would give us 0110. So 0110, we got 0 times 2 to the 3 plus 1 times 2 times 2 to the 2 plus 1 times 2 to the 1 plus 0 times 2 to the 0. That would give us 0 plus 1 plus 4 plus 2 plus 0. So that's 6. So so for yellow, up here in my enum, I could just say yellow equals 6, and we got that. Now, so when I come down here, where I'm doing this foreground red and green, I could just do yellow. And let's say I wanted to make it a bright yellow. I OR it with my intensify. So that's going to intensify my yellow. And now if I run it, run it. Oh, no, don't save. If I run it here, it gives me a bright yellow for those fonts. So, but if we run it again, right? We got this. They're both yellow, but in my generate window, I didn't change the color. So why is it yellow? Well, I never changed it back. So to get into a good practice with at least manipulating the console color, you always want to reset at the end of every function, the default color, and just handle changing the color as you're getting into in the cases you need to change the color to a different color. So we want the default. Um, so what's the default? There's no default. I don't see a default. There's no default. What's our default color? Well, let's look at it. Let's go to let's just get rid of. Let's comment that out and see our default color. Default color is like a white or gray, gray I guess. So I'm gonna just assume it's white, because if you remember earlier, just the dim yellow was pretty dim, so I'm gonna assume that's a dim white. So let's go back and look at how we would get white. Oh, I can't get there now. Let's go foreground blue. Let's go back to that file. Go to definition. So I want white. I want a dim white, right? That's kind of what I'm thinking is the default color. Um, what is the color white? The color white is everything on. So it'd be 111. Actually, it'd just be 00. F. Which in binary would be 0000000001111. That's actually F equals 15 in decimal, right? Since it's hex. So if you have all of them on 1111 there, that'd be 8 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1, which would give us 15. So that's how we get that 111 there. So that's our F. So huh. So we know this bit right here is actually our intensify, right? Um, so we don't want that on. We just want to turn that off because that way we don't get that intense white color. So what is 111 in decimal? Well, that's 4 plus 2 plus 1, and that's 7. So that's the binary, that's the decimal number I need to put for my default. So if I go here, and at the end of the enum, default equals 7. If we wanted the bright default, I'll put that there too, just so we have something to compare against. If I put a 1 here, this would be 15 then, right? Because it'd be 14. It'd be 7 plus the 8, which would be 15. So let's X out of there. No, we don't want to save this. So we got the default and bright default. It's 15. So let's go down here, and instead of having this, we're just gonna have a default. No, no. We want this to be red, or let's make it green. Green is usually good. Green means good. Then red means bad. At the end of the function, out of this if statement, because if I put it here and this after this else, then it's never gonna run. We want to set it back to the default. So down here, so I set it to default, and let's run it now. It's still green. What'd I miss? Huh. I missed something here. Set console. Oh. The returns are what's causing it. So we're gonna actually put this in right after we do our print calls. That the problem was that return. These were returning before I did that. And we want to make sure we do take into account the release mode build. Um, Actually, no, because we're not even printing anything in release mode, so we don't need that there. Let's run it again. Now it should give us the white we're looking for, and there you go. So you got the green, and then you got the default color. So let's try doing this as a bright default. Um, I'm not gonna mess with that. It should bright default should give me a bright white, correct? Let's see. Yeah, there's my bright white. So that's how you would get from one color and back to the default. And this just makes it much easier to see how see what all the red spots in your game and in your debug when you're debugging. I'm just gonna put this down here, put this down here. Make sure keeping kind of like the bright default, so I'm gonna keep it bright default. And this one's gonna become bright default, kind of like the bright white more than the dim white. So now we should get 2 lines of green, and just for kicks, let's put a print here. Printf. This should print bright white. Just a proof of concept. And let's run it. There we go. So you got the window class generated green, and what's being printed in white being printed bright white. So that's how you would change the color on your console. That you can do this also on just the generic console application. So hope you enjoyed this tutorial. So happy coding. All right, see ya.